What's going on, everyone, on this fantastic Sunday, March 19th, 2023? I hope you all are having a really fantastic day. In this video, we are tracking quite a bit of wild weather going on across the West. We have severe weather to talk about for the deep South, below average temperatures when you don't expect them for this time of the year. This weather is pretty much wild for the next couple of weeks. Now, before I do get started, if you are new to the YouTube channel and you really like these detailed, awesome weather updates that I do provide on an everyday basis, if you like the work that I do, if you just like the detail, the time that I put into these videos, the live streams on severe weather, hurricanes, winter storms, a lot more on the channel, please consider hitting the red subscribe button right now to stay up to date with the work that I do as far as weather goes, and also hit the like button and share your awesome comment in the section below this video to get more updates and let me know on how you like the video. And then secondly, if you do like Mesovort WX, Evan James has put together one of the best weather websites possible. Okay, this is again what we call Mesovort WX. If you want to participate, it is 100% free to join today. There is no cost whatsoever. All you have to do is create a free account on the Mesovort WX server, or not server, but website, and then you're able to view your posts or other people's posts on the website. A great example is Evan James, EJ. He's, again, the website designer. He is the head of everything. He made a post 2 days ago. I made a post 6 days ago. Speaking of that, I need to actually make a post today on our upcoming weather pattern here back west. And it's just a really great website where you could interact with people, where you can talk to people. It's quite a bit of fun. Not only that, you know what's a lot of fun? Discord. We do have a Discord server. If you all are interested in participating in the Weather Force Discord server, there is a link in the description below this video leading to, again, Mesovort and the Discord Weather Force server. I highly recommend participating in it. We got quite a few members that love talking with you. It's just a lot of fun. You can post memes, talk about severe weather, embed links, jokes, much more. It's quite a bit of fun. You cannot miss it at all. So if you want to participate in the Weather Force Discord server, there's a link in the description below this video. So here's a look at the current weather conditions going on right now across the United States on the 19th of March, 2023. And this is the water vapor imagery provided by Levi Cowan at tropicaltidbits.com. And we can see with what we have ongoing, we have a pretty powerful weather system that is slamming California. We're used to this. I'm telling you right now, we're just used to getting snow, strong winds, heavy rainfall, and of course, the relentless below average temperatures that we have been dealing with for about a month. It's getting to that point already where we have not really had much of spring-like temperatures here because of the trophy weather that continues. And a great example is that on the water vapor. We have another trough that is digging down into California, bringing some inclement weather, windy conditions, moderate to heavy rainfall, and cooler temperatures. And of course, the higher elevations are getting snow associated with that system. We got another weak upper level disturbance moving across right now, the lower 48 in the deep south. This is really not going to trigger much in the way of active weather yet, but it will soon later on when it gets into the eastern seaboard, ahead of another system that is going to be dropping into the Four Corners. And this system that is over California will be what kickstarts our severe weather or our active weather period for the Midwest and the deep south. Now, taking a look now at our RTMA data, this is one of the best things I could use, and this is showing us what the conditions are like right now as far as your temperatures actually go. So right now, it is currently in the upper 50s across California, especially for the Central Valley. It is pretty chilly in the deep south, where you have temperatures currently right now in the upper 40s to lower 50s. You're not seeing any 70s today. of the exception if you're in Phoenix, Arizona. That's where you're seeing some nice warmer weather. Now, if we go actually and look at the Great Lakes, temperatures are in the 40s, so a little chilly, a little bite to the air, but it's cold up there in North Dakota, 23 degrees. But what's different about now than what we had yesterday is there's no single digits. However, it's still chilly for the Northeast there. For New England, you're seeing temperatures right now in the teens, lower teens for the higher elevations like Mount Washington and Vermont and New Hampshire, seeing some cooler temperatures. But finally, a lot of the Arctic air is now moving back out, back to the north out of the United States, and we should start seeing more warmer temperatures build in as high pressure rebuilds over the eastern half of the U.S. And every time that happens, it brings us some cooler temperatures. So now, as far as your weather alerts go, we're used to it, okay? I mean, a lot of the talk lately has been in California. High wind watches, winter storm watches. It's another gazebo nasty storm headed your way. Maybe some landslides, maybe some flood concerns also down there because you're going to get more significant rainfall perhaps. And then, of course, for the higher elevations here for the Sierra, winter storm warnings, winter weather advisories ahead of that next system that we're talking about. Well, the current system going on, and then I think there is going to be more winter storm warnings and winter weather advisories issued ahead of our next system for Monday night all the way through Wednesday. And that one looks a lot more substantial than the one that we're dealing with right now. And yes, rivers are still running high. We have flood warnings going on down here in San Joaquin County near Stanislaus. Some of the rivers are really high. I live right by the McCallamy River, and the McCallamy River is really high right now. It's getting ready to breach its levees. There's no one in danger for significant flooding since a lot of these folks live well above the river line, but I'm just letting you know some of the low-lying areas are capable of flooding. A lot of runoff still coming down from the mountains because of the snow melt and because of how much rainfall we have gotten in those lower elevations to exacerbate the snow melt. Not only that, a rare spring freeze. It's going to get cold down here for the southeast and the deep south over the next couple of days. Temperatures in the 20s during the night will lead to some pretty serious freezing conditions. Pets, plants, anything livestock, you definitely need to bring those in. Water piping, water plumbing could also be at risk for bursting because of how cold the temperatures are going to be. Really cold nights, but your days should be fairly mild. But just take note, bundle up when you get out the door tomorrow morning. It's going to be cold for a few days. All right, now, when we take a look at our European model now, the weather pattern, as I stated at the beginning of the video, is going to get really active. We're tracking a lot of systems coming from the west into the high plains and then into the northeast and the Great Lakes. And every time they do this, we really amp up the snow chances and the severe weather chances. And this week is no exception. So let's kind of walk this through in great detail because especially the system Monday night into Tuesday for California, it looks pretty dangerous, looks very concerning, especially on the Euro model. So this is for this afternoon. You can see our system moving through, light to moderate rainfall, maybe, again, the continuation of mountain snow for the higher elevations, some breezy winds left behind this in our area. Nothing too substantial with the winds, but yeah, a little bit of a breeze to kind of mess things up a little bit. Some rainfall across Oregon and Washington. You haven't really had much in the way of precipitation. That's why you guys are below average. There is still an exceptional drought in portions of Oregon. Believe it or not, you go north, you would think more rain, but no, it's the opposite. Still some drought situations here that are pretty significant in the Pacific Northwest, and hopefully you guys can get more rain, but it does not look anything significant for the time being. So let's go forward here all the way into tomorrow afternoon. You can see that storm system moves in across the Intermountain West of the Four Corners, the Rockies, light to moderate snowfall. We get lee-side genesis going on in eastern Colorado. A surface low tries to develop, and that's going to set up a stationary front, and that's going to lead to what we have impacting the area. Maybe some severe weather in a couple of days here, especially for Oklahoma. Maybe some isolated cloud buildups, maybe some thunder or two with these storms. maybe some hail problems, but really nothing too substantial with that, and that's some good news. Thumbs up, 7 up on that. But thumbs down on the storm system that's going to be hitting California. I mean, it's not just central or northern California, but too, it's SoCal. I mean, Southern California has just been getting whiplashed just by, not really whiplash, there's another word for it, but just been getting slapped and slapped and slapped with rain, wind, mudslides, significant flooding. I have friends that live down there in Hollywood and down there in San Bernardino, and they have said they have never seen such significant flooding in a while down there, and they're just going to get more rain, more flood concerns because of that system. And it is this one right here. Let me forward it. It's this system that is going to be really a problem for SoCal and Central California. If I could drive down there, I would and take some photography on the flood concerns at those rivers. But too bad, I live 400 miles north of LA and I can't get down there right when I want to. Unfortunate, distance is a problem in my neck of the woods. But hey, if you want to send me your videos and photos on Twitter at Weatherman David, that would be great. Or David Schlotthauer on Twitter. That would really help out. And maybe I'll just shout you out in my next video. So pressure-wise, this thing is going to be strong for California standards, 984 millibars. And yeah, that's coming from the Euro model. When this thing makes landfall, I could almost call it a land hurricane, or not a land hurricane, but a tropical system in itself. I did measure temperatures at the core of this. Here is some subtropical genesis going on. We have a little bit of a warm core in the middle of this surface low, and you can see a lot of the rain up around this, kind of wrapping all the way around. So it is going to be really interesting. And yes, we are going to get some moderate to heavy rain in my neck of the woods. Maybe some flood problems. Yeah, we might get a couple of inches of rain out of this system. And yeah, there it is in Southern California. A lot of heavy rain, strong winds, maybe even some water spouts along the coast. That does not surprise me. And of course, the high wind watches are up for a reason in that area. The surface low slowly fills in as it moves onshore, but still some showers and thunderstorms through Wednesday as that moves inland. And of course, it falls apart, but that doesn't mean it goes away altogether. Possibly by Wednesday and Thursday, another active day is set in stone here, potentially. This is about 84 hours out. We got showers in the upper Midwest. We got snow that tries to develop, but look at this. This system moves very quickly because of the zonal flow that we have. So it's going to be here one day and it's going to be here the next day. I mean, actually, no, the same day it is going to really be moving, tracking along quickly. So some quick, impactful winds, heavy rain, maybe a severe weather thunderstorm or two associated with that. And then comes the big guy. Look at this. By Thursday night into Friday, we get a pretty impactful system that tries to develop here. The Storm Prediction Center has already taken notice of this with their slight risk for severe weather, which we will look at here in a little bit. And that is going to gallop and develop from Texas, Oklahoma eastward, so Louisiana by Friday afternoon on March the 24th. And look at this, maybe some snow. I mean, snow in March 24th. Don't see it that far south this time of the year, but yeah, you're going to get some snow potentially with this. And then, of course, this is going to be moving into the Tennessee Valley. Oops, if my thing could stop. That's why I don't like pivotal weather, because I wish you can just stop clicking on it and it would lock itself in. But look at what's locked in is the Euro on this storm system. And you can see Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee getting hit pretty hard with rain, strong winds, and that system moves into the northeast. And again, the biggest concern here with this system for the Deep South will be the amount of rainfall and maybe some flood concerns, but also we could be looking at some large hail and primarily a wind damage threat. I don't see a huge tornado threat with this at the very most, maybe a 5% chance for tornadoes in Oklahoma and maybe in the DFW area in central Texas, but I do not see a substantial outbreak of tornadoes. You might get that from other YouTubers that say, oh, there might be a 10 sig or a 15 sig for tornadoes. Of course they're going to hype it up because That's what social media is all about on YouTube. People like to hype up stuff. You know who you are. I've said it in yesterday's video. I don't like to come across rude or disrespectful, but just be careful who you watch when during these type of weather events. In my opinion, I don't see a big tornado threat. Probably a 2 to 5% chance of tornadoes, a 15 for wind and hail, maybe a 30 for wind, since there's going to be some evaporational cooling with some of these storms. But I'm not seeing one of those Willy Wonka fantasy type severe outbreaks where you can get strong tornadoes, that whole bajabba, what you hear about sometimes on social media. We're getting into that time of the year where we got to start watching, but this system is not one of those. So now the GFS model, really quickly, I wanted to just kind of roll through this very quickly. Of course, for California, that system, like we talked about, it is matching up with the Euro model. So there is a high confidence that this system is going to be pretty impactful with pressures that are very low, strong winds, maybe damaging winds, thunderstorms, maybe water spouts along the coast with this system, and then that moves into the upper Midwest and the northern plains by Thursday. And then another system, again, well, like we talked about on the Euro, is matching up with the GFS. In 5 days, moderate to heavy rainfall is anticipated, and then that moves into the Northeast on the 25th of March with more snow for your area if you're in Erie, Pennsylvania, and Detroit, Michigan. 5 day snow totals look a little impressive depending on where you're at. Especially for the Sierra, you might get additional 2 to 5 feet of snowfall through the end of this upcoming work week through March 24th, with possibly 8 to 12 inches of snowfall for the northern plains, part of that winter storm that we could be seeing in the models in the next 5 or so days. That could bring quite a bit of impacts. The higher elevations here of the Four Corners, you might see 2 to 5 feet of snowfall. 5 feet in the highest peaks, with maybe about a foot or less in the valleys in the lower elevations. Rainfall totals look quite impressive, especially down here across the deep south, and also for the upper Midwest. You may get as much as about an inch to maybe as much as 4 inches of rainfall, and that's why there is a risk for some flood concerns beyond the 3-day period on the WPC. We'll keep you all updated on that, as you guys don't really need a lot of any more rain, especially for the deep south or either California, where we have had way too much water falling from the sky in the last few months. So now we're going to look at the SPC Outlook here. Like I mentioned earlier, again, there is a slight risk for severe weather for day 5. Now, you guys always saying, just because they put a 15% beyond 3 days out does not mean it's going to be significant. That means there is medium confidence. That's what the yellow stands for, means that there is medium confidence for a severe weather day. All right, I have seen slight risks 7 and 8 days out, and there are still slight risks at day 1 and 2. Just because it's far out and they put a slight risk does not always mean it's going to be a big severe weather outbreak. There have been times, remember the Mayfield tornado on December the 10th. I get my days mixed up. Yeah, the December 10th. Well, 3 days out, that was a marginal risk for severe weather. Then it went significant. Remember, then it went moderate on day 1. So just kind of take note of that, all right? In my opinion, it's not going to be a big tornado threat this go around. We're looking at just some large hail and maybe some strong gusty winds is all we're going to see. Again, an isolated tornado cannot be ruled out. So will the same be on day 6. We're looking at a 15%. Now on Friday into Saturday, that looks to be a little bit higher chance for tornadoes given the organization with the line. We may have embedded supercells within the organized linear line, the MCS that tries to develop. So we'll keep you updated on that, but right now I am not too aggressive in my forecast as far as tornadoes go in the next for those 2 days. It is elevated, I get that. We will have severe weather, but we're not talking about a moderate or high risk for tornadoes or damaging winds like you might hear about on other weather YouTube channels. Now, as far as flooding goes, there is another slight risk for heavy rainfall for SoCal. See now, David's correct on this stuff. There is moderate to heavy rainfall. We looked at that on the GFS model and the Euro. They indicated that there's going to be moderate to heavy rainfall, a little bit of an atmospheric river trip here. And so, therefore, there's a slight risk for heavy rainfall for the LA County, for San Diego, all the way up the coast into, say, San Luis Obispo. If you are in Pescadero, if you are across the Big Sur, the Salinas Valley, you're under a slight risk for heavy rainfall. Orographic effects will exacerbate the flooding and mudslide risk. But this time, it is really going to be from kind of central California further south. There is a marginal risk for heavy rainfall, though, for the foothills of the Sierra due to, again, some of the more exacerbated heavy rainfall that could come with this storm. There's a slight risk for the Arizona area, so keep that in mind. The system is going to slosh eastward as it moves out of California into the Intermountain West. So now, as far as your Climate Prediction Center forecast, it is no stranger danger. It is not any different than it was yesterday, than it was a couple of days ago. We're still looking at some winter-like temperatures. I mean, January, it might feel even colder than that in some areas. I mean, there is a 80 to 90%, I believe that is that right there, an 80 to 90% chance that temperatures will be below average in California and Nevada. Okay, so there is certain likelihood that temperatures will be definitely on the cooler side. But look at this. It's going to warm up again for the southeast and even for the mid-Atlantic, because of the pattern is going to change. The ridge is going to build on in, and when ridges build in, the warm air follows along with it. So a nice spring warm-up is going to reinitiate across the southeast between the 6 to 10 day forecast. So you can put your jackets away in a couple of days or so, and you will love the upcoming weather pattern. 8 to 14 day, it is trending cooler than normal for the west, for much of the northern tier, in fact, and the desert southwest, with warmer than normal conditions likely for Georgia, for the Carolinas, and further to the southeast. What about precipitation wise? It's still looking cold and wet for California and Nevada. So good news. Actually, not good news. We have had too much rainfall, but hey, if you still love the rain, I'm kind of done with it, but maybe you're not. You're liking the forecast. 6 to 10 days, likely above average for California. Trending drier than normal for Texas and for southern New Mexico, but otherwise pretty much going green here across much of the nation in that 6 to 10 day forecast. The 8 to 14 day forecast is pretty much similar, with California taking the bullet, or taking the bullseye with the highest chances there. 40 to 50% chance of above normal rainfall and snowfall. I mean, come on, this is going all the way into the 2nd of April, and it is looking quite wet, potentially for much of the West. Now, before I do in this video, I have a couple of very important announcements that you do not want to miss at all. I am so sorry I bother you guys. Sounds like I'm begging, but this is my job at promoting. After all, it is video marketing. Okay, it's promotion, it's commercials, you get the idea. So if you are new to the YouTube channel and you really like these detailed weather videos, presentations, the detail, the work that I put into these videos and everything with my forecasting, I am looking into actually making an El Nino or Enzo forecast for tomorrow. I have not done that yet on this channel, nor have I done it in the last few years. So I'm glad to bring that back to you all. So be sure to stay tuned for that tomorrow. We're not going to focus on much of the US in tomorrow's video. Instead, it's going to be on the Enzo. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. It really means a lot to me, because at the end of the day, I do live streams, I do winter storms, I do a lot for you all. So if you guys are new and you like the content, you like the enthusiasm, please subscribe, share, and like. It does help out. So now, what also helps out is Evan James. He put together a very awesome Mesovort WX weather website. So if you really want to participate in this, I would really highly recommend joining today. It is 100% free. There's no cost whatsoever. If there's a cost, I would not be joining this website just yet because I'm broke. I shouldn't say that though. But either way, you get the idea. It is free. There's no cost. All you have to do is enter MesoVortWX. You sign up, create an account, and that's it. You are in the server. You're not in the server, but you're in the website, and you're able to actually leave comments, like the posts that I have here, and yeah, and view them and read them with great, awesome detail. Last but not least, if you guys want to participate in the Weather Force Discord server, there is a link in the description below this video. Not only that, there is a link in the description leading to the MesoVortWX website too. So all of these are free. There is no cost whatsoever. And again, at the end of the day, it is my job to promote this because that's video marketing. And not only that, it is my job to bring you guys the best weather information and detail and honest information as I can possible, at the same time interacting with you all as members on the YouTube platform and off of it, including Twitter, Facebook, that sort of business, right? There's many ways I can go out and spread the word, but spreading the word means a lot, okay? And that's really all I have for this video. But anyways, thank you all for watching, and I will be back with you more tomorrow with an update on El Nino, since it could be a big monster this coming winter of 2023 and 2024.